we need to talk about Michelle Obama because she's got a take that people are misrepresenting. You know that in my channel, I try to fight disinformation and misinformation, no matter where it comes from. And I don't like when people try to, let's say, distort what people have said, because that happened to me a couple times. I say something, maybe I tweet something, or I say something on my videos, and people misrepresent what I said and claim that I said something else. And that is kind of what is happening here with Michelle Obama. So it's not like I'm going to defend her. She's still pushing the racist narrative that her husband made sure to establish in those 8 years of infamy. But we are seeing like this kind of change in Democrats right now, in the rhetoric. Is becoming softer. I'm going to tell you, this is from N-Wokeness. I follow N-Wokeness from some time, and I saw this headline, and I advise you to always go beyond the headline. Do not react to the headline. Make sure that you play the video. And in this case, the headline says, or the caption says, Michelle Obama says she is mindful to try to avoid white-owned brands and others also should be. And I say, oh, why? That absolutely has to go on my show. I have to see that, and I have to watch the clip. And you have to watch the clip, and let's watch the clip together to see if that is what she said. And this is the clip that everybody is copying and pasting with the same caption. Let's see. Let's hear her own words.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like, and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. You know, I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobes. You know, what does our closet look like, and who's in it? Mm-hmm. Who are we supporting in it?
Right.
You know, and I think if you have the money to buy Chanel, then you have the money to buy everybody.
Right.
And so let us be mindful, I think would be my advice.
That is the clip. Did you hear what the caption said? Michelle Obama says she is mindful to try to avoid white-owned brands and others also should be. I mean, this has to do also with reading comprehension. There's a crisis of reading comprehension, and there was a crisis of reading comprehension 10 years ago when we did not have vertical videos. Now that we have vertical videos, the stream of vertical videos, there's even more of a crisis of reading comprehension. And this is an actual false equivalence. At no point she said that you should try to avoid white-owned brands and others also should be. You could say that she implied it, but from what she said, I have to say two things here, and this is part of how Democrats' rhetoric has changed in the past 6 months dramatically. It's interesting to watch, and it's also by design. There's also a reason why this is happening. I'm going to explain it in a minute. But she's not saying expressly to avoid white-owned brands, but if you can buy a white-owned brand, as in, I don't know if she considers Chanel white-owned brand. I don't know if you could say that it is a white-owned brand. I really don't know if that's her point. But her point was actually that if you can afford Chanel without mentioning race at all, then you can afford to buy anything from, black-owned businesses. Which, not gonna lie, that is an actual statement. I'm not going to say that it's a sound statement. It is just a statement. It's something that's objectively true. We need to assume that we need to accept that it's an objectively true statement. You can afford Chanel. You can afford smaller creators. And since, her audience is black women, of course, she is rooting for black women-owned businesses to thrive. So it's like more or less, maybe not saying white-owned brands, but if you have the money to buy Chanel, then you should support black women. Which at the same time, I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with black women having businesses and, trying to break out. I think it's great that black women, white women, women in general, have the ability. There's a great time right now. Online businesses can thrive anywhere, except if you're Meghan Markle. That is another topic for, another session. But bear with me with this. Black women, women in general, regardless of color. I don't know why we're talking about color, because it's the Obamas, of course. If it's the Obamas, you have to make it about the color. That's their audience. I think it's great that women can have a business anywhere, online and on demand. It's like amazing. We are living in the timest of times in that regard. But you need to know how to be competitive. That is how capitalism works. Okay, you can be intelligent, of course, and maybe you can reach out to Michelle Obama herself, say, maybe you can have some kind of campaign, organize a campaign or some kind of initiative to make more visible this black-owned women's businesses. That would be great. That would be great indeed. Michelle Obama is like Meghan Markle. They have a platform. It would be great if they use that platform for people other than themselves. Because they always say, like Meghan, I want to empower women. I want to empower women and girls. Where's the empowerment? Where's empowerment? You have the power to do that. You have the platform to do that. You just have to snap your fingers like reverse Thanos and do the right thing. But no, it's way more comfortable, You just make sure that you promote your book. You have your coffee table book right there. Look, it's Michelle Obama. I don't know if it's a book about fashion. I guess I certainly have no idea. It is obvious that her target audience is black women. But again, I don't like when people try to misrepresent what people have said on clips, and most people are not going to watch the clip, even if it's Michelle Obama. But at the same time, I don't think this is a problem, an issue of black women. I think this is a problem of being competitive. And if you think of being competitive, you needed to know about the market. I'm just going to mention here that these people are never going to say it. Obama is never going to say it. Tim Walz is never going to say it. Kamala Harris is never going to say it. AOC is never going to say it. Gavin Newsom is never going to say it. But capitalism has a way of working on your favor. Capitalism is not only, the exploitation of people so you can have more money. No. Right now, capitalism can be from solopreneurs. I am a solopreneur. I don't exploit anybody. I'm a one-man operation, and anybody can be a one-man operation nowadays, especially with the tools that we have with AI. That is the silver line of AI that can aid you in things. So everything is interconnected in this regard. And the thing is that we are at the gates of having the first solopreneur billionaire, the first billionaire solopreneur. So when that happens, that is going to be interesting. That is, I give it less than 10 years for one guy to become a billionaire working just with AI. It's just on his garage, on his mother's basement, because that would be a reality. Now, what would be the rhetoric then? You are exploiting who? Who are you exploiting? You're just paying for a service, which is a computer or an AI, and you're making the AI help you do the... So, and then these people are going to say, oh, you are not hiring people that might need the job. Yeah, but at the same time, it means that you need to understand. I think this is how my mind works. I tend to see the world in terms of opportunities. There's a lot of crisis, of course, in the world right now. But I think this is a moment that you need to realize where is the market going. I mean, so many people, you see the EU is in love with AI right now. The World Economic Forum is foaming at the mouth with AI. For so many reasons, you might as well have a tiny slice of the pie, why not, and try to seize the opportunity to be competitive. And that is the actual message that Michelle Obama should be pushing. Be more competitive. Even if you come from a humble background, if you come from the hood, there are this democratized, this I don't know how to say that, massive tools that you can use to build a business. And learning them is as simple right now as learning English. You can just prompt things into existence. You can vibe code. You can actually do things. You just have to need the, go for it. So again, I wanted this section to be about two things. First, I don't like when things are misrepresented, and this was a misrepresentation of Michelle's words. But at the same time, she still wants to push the race card no matter what. So she still goes to jail. As Erin Durham says, if the phrase, "I try to avoid black-owned brands," came out of the white first lady's mouth, the country would have a meltdown. Racism is racism. Erin is reacting to the headline. Erin obviously did not watch the video. That is the problem. And that is how this outrage attention economy just keeps rolling. That is maybe something for another video, in which we need to be wary where we put our minds to, because there's a lot of outrage out there, and it is not good. It is not healthy to be constantly connected to that. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments, and I'm keeping an eye on your live chat.